AITA for visiting my ex in jail against the wishes of my girlfriend. Now this is a humdinger.
I know where would stand on this.
Don't say my mom's name on the podcast.
Oh, I know where Danny's mom would stand.
I have to delete it anyway. By you, Martin and Marvin. I live with my girlfriend Molly and have done so for the past 2 years. I love her, and since we're both financially stable, we're thinking of starting a family together. My ex-girlfriend Amy is in jail. She worked in finance, pretty high up, already earning great money, but got involved in an illegal scheme to make easy money.
Oh boy.
Everyone involved has been jailed. I heard about this and thought it was a shame, but we haven't been together for 4 years, so I had no reason to reach out to her. That was until I received a letter from her in the post where she told me that all her family and friends had cut her off and asking if I could be in contact with her purely as a friend, so she has someone she could talk to on the outside. I agreed and visited her today. Amy's family are upper-class types who are obsessed with their reputation and so cut their criminal daughter off. Most of her friends are from the same professional circles as her, so they don't want to know her either. I'm her only friend outside the prison. She's a complete wreck of a person. When she saw me, she broke down in tears as I'm the first person who's ever visited her. Amy doesn't belong in there at all. She's going out of her mind with boredom, sitting in her cell. While she's been put on some courses, they are far below her capability. She has a degree in mathematics and numerous financial certification, and they're only offering her basic skills courses. She has to wear clothes that are usually undersized and have been worn by many others before. From what she said, I think she's being bullied in there too. Wow, can you imagine? She said a lot of the other women, quote, don't like her because apparently she comes across as spoiled and snobby. After the visit, she hugged me.
Seems like a really down-to-earth
and thanked me for coming and said, I try to come once a month. Molly was okay with me seeing Amy beforehand, but when I got home, she said she doesn't feel comfortable. She said if it was anyone else, it would be okay, but the fact I'm going out of my way for my ex frightens her. She asked me if I have feelings for Amy, which I don't, but that didn't satisfy her, and she said she wouldn't feel happy unless I stopped seeing Amy, which I said I wouldn't. I'm Amy's only friend. Why should I let her sit in that shithole all alone when I can be there just as a friend to help her through it?
Oof, lots of things going through my head right now. Lots of questions I need answered. Like, number one,
yeah,
did they break up because she went to jail?
I think he would have said that.
I wonder why they broke up.
He's only been with Molly for the past 2 years, and Amy went to jail
4 years ago.
4 years ago, right?
Well,
yeah.
He says they broke up 4 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he would have said I broke up with her because she's a financial criminal. I mean, I'm really cringing just at like the complaints here. It sounds like me writing a Yelp review about jail. It's like
the food's not very good here. I can't get my mani-pedi on a regular basis.
The clothes doesn't fit. It's like these aren't really she's getting bullied. Like, yeah, of course she's getting bullied. It's jail. Like, let me know if she's getting the shit beat out of her. Then that's an issue. But like,
oh, the girls aren't nice to me here.
Yeah.
I don't fit in here.
They're so mean. So, and also, I mean, I guess I feel a little bad that she's.
I just keep thinking like, white Martha won't let me into her club.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so it's like, I guess it kind of sucks that she's so smart. I mean, that is one part that bothers me here. It's like, here we have a smart person, like make her do work, right? Like get this woman to generate value for society.
You want her to be like the Andy Dufresne of this woman's prison here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen Shawshank, but I'll go with it. And yes, because she has a degree in mathematics and numerous financial certifications. The idea that this woman is like sitting in an arithmetic class, yeah, I mean, that upsets me. It's a waste of our resources here. It's like, she's a financial criminal. Make her earn her money back or whatever.
So you're worried about your tax dollars right now.
Well, and she's miserable, right? Like, she's miserable. She has nothing to do. She's bored out of her head, you know?
Well, aside from the political discussion about how awful our prison system is, right? I think there's a lot of things at play in this particular situation of whether this guy's the asshole. Like, why did they break up? When is she getting out of prison? Like, does she have another 15 years to go? Or is she getting out in 2 months? If she's getting out in a couple of months,
no visits.
I can see why this other woman would be threatened.
If she has to be in there for a while, otherwise it's like, what are you doing? You're trying to hook up with Amy when she gets out?
Yeah, conjugal visits, maybe.
Seriously.
The other part of me wonders, like, when you worry about your boyfriend visiting his ex who is in jail, like,
right. Try saying it out
how low
loud.
is your self-esteem that that's a threat to you?
I mean, can you? Oh, interesting.
Do you
That's
get
how
what I'm
you're
saying?
viewing that.
Where it's like, if I had a boyfriend whose ex was in prison, I'd be like, this is the ideal ex. Like, she fucking sucks, bro. Like, yeah, go visit your ex. Have fun. And that'll be a reminder of how amazing I am.
Right, because that's an interesting thing, is that being threatened by an ex is also part of it, you know?
Yeah.
So they're less threatening. Yeah, you're right. I mean, who can be less of a threat than someone who's literally incarcerated? So, like, they're
Exactly.
not. How are they going to swoop you from them?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I guess on the other hand, I'm trying to enter the girlfriend's shoes, and I am assuming that, like, these things are reasonable. Like, I'm assuming that, you know, she's in prison for a while, like, nothing ridiculous, right? You know, but I'm trying to be Molly, and I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm just kind of upset. Oh, why are you upset? Oh, I'm upset because my boyfriend's visiting his ex in jail.
You
know what I mean?
We would be the biggest hypocrites to side with Molly here.
You don't see Molly's side at all?
We
that
are
she
sitting
might get
here as
upset?
exes recording a podcast. Neither of us are incarcerated.
Yeah, no, but I know, but like, you know how you said that they're not a threat at all? Wouldn't you also be like, what's the draw? Why aren't you spending time with me? You're gonna go visit Molly in the jail?
Okay, I get it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're right. Like, it almost seems like less threatening to just grab a quick coffee with an ex versus like you're gonna drop everything.
Exactly. This
and
is a
be
whole
this person's
thing.
savior.
Yeah, and like going to jail isn't super fun.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, I hear what you're saying. Now I'm rethinking this whole situation. You're right, where it's like, why does he have to be the one?
Also, what about these commitments lining up? I mean, aren't these the exact like limitations that we were talking about apply to ex? I said I try to come once a month. Oh, really? You're going to get a monthly subscription to your ex? How about no?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in a situation where my boyfriend literally said, I'm going to try to come once a month in response to his ex.
Right.
Oh,
Wow. All right. I'm going to have to eject you from the pod.
Oh, there's like an ejector seat.
Yeah, there is. I had it installed in your house.
Yeah, thank you.
Taco Belly, which is a great username, writes, wearing clothes that are under or oversized made me laugh. My dude, she's in jail for criminal behavior. Jail is not supposed to be enjoyable or stylish. And I think they're reacting to that quote he said, which is like, Amy shouldn't be here. What did he say? There's some terrible quote like that. Like, she committed a crime and now she's in an uncomfortable place. That's totally valid.
Yeah, he doesn't really ever talk about how like she did something illegal
And harmful. Like, I think the delusion is people are like, well, it's just a financial crime. And it's like, yeah, well, money kind of makes the world go. And this person stole money. Like, it sucks.
Oh, it's corruption at its finest. Yeah.
Space Ducks writes, this makes OP sound like such a snob and so entitled, like people who commit white-collar crimes don't belong in jail and it's below them. It really does. I mean, it's like the amount of sympathy and the nature of these complaints. It's just like, can you imagine if a murderer told you this shit? You'd be laughing in his face.
I just keep coming back to like, the comments are valid, but it doesn't determine whether the boyfriend's the asshole or not. They're just commenting on how shitty this ex is.
Yeah, well, you're right. And how he paints this picture of her as, this is the quote. He said, Amy doesn't belong in there at all.
That's she was innocent.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even saying that. He is sympathizing with her a lot.
He thinks she belongs in a more upscale prison.
I guess so. Does the Hyatt have a prison? Can we maybe do a Chateau and Relais prison? Because this is not... Shinoisery91 writes, jail isn't there to torture people either. Okay, that's a fair point. And if clothes are too small, especially, it will be miserable. In general, I don't think people are in prison stop being human beings who can't have any complaints about their life. Taking their freedom is the punishment, not complete dehumanization. I mean, that's fair, but I think you're right, too, that, like, first of all, these complaints are like, if they were like constantly putting her in tiny shirts, I would be like, okay, that is a little fucked up. I think that does fall under like cruel and unusual punishment. But like they're giving her random clothes.
I feel like people in prison wear a uniform.
Yeah, don't they? Don't they have the orange
What is she
or the
wearing,
black and
like,
white
a
stripes?
tube top and cutoffs? Like, what the fuck is she wearing that doesn't fit properly?
What if prisons were separated by that? Like, oh, you're in maximum security? Yeah, we only have Hollister, so.
It's probably too late to ask, but is cursing okay on this podcast?
Yes.
Okay, because I've said the word fuck quite a bit.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So I'm very weirded out. I'm also very it's so one-sided, right? It's so one-sided in him seeing Amy as like this victim, essentially.
Yeah.
And I do think it sucks. I think the prison system sucks, but I don't really feel a lot of particular sympathy for Amy.
I don't feel any sympathy for the jailed ex. But now I'm just keep thinking, you made me think now about the new girlfriend and like
Molly.
how I would feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, the more I think, yeah, I would think it was really weird if my current boyfriend was like going out of his way to help an ex.
Right.
Although at the same time, if my relationship was super solid, I would think like that's kind of a nice gesture and yeah, to help her out. Why not?
Yeah, it is kind of nice because you're kind of helping the helpless, but it's weird as well. I mean, so in terms of AITA for visiting my ex in jail against the wishes of my girlfriend, I'm ready to say no assholes here.
I think the only asshole is the woman in jail who's like putting all her shit onto her ex.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like that. Also, it's like, where did all this information get across? So it's like, it seems like he went to see her once and then she was like, listen, let me tell you how real it is in here.
No, she was writing him letters.
She was writing the letter. So she basically wrote him a letter of complaints.
She was like,
Why?
all of my family has ditched me,
Right.
so I have no one to gossip with.
No, but I'm saying, when did these complaints about prison come through where she's like, the clothes is too small? Like, is that in the letter? Do you really need another woman complaining in your life?
She
I'm
wrote the
sorry.
clothes is too small.
Right.
Maybe she needs those classes after all.
Yeah, it's like, this is crazy. Still, I think he cleared it with Molly. I don't think there's anything inherently assholeish. I think a lot of ex relations are about clear communication, nothing behind the back. That's obviously when it gets really bad. That is technically where the violation comes.
Yep.
So here's the kicker. We got an update on this. Yes.
Oh, there's something that happened afterwards?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Molly and I sat down together and discussed everything. I understood why she was worried, and she understood why I didn't think it was right to leave Amy in that place alone. Yeah, you know, that place where all the other criminals just like her are. In the end, I took the advice of one of the comments on the original post. I asked Molly if she'd come with me.
Oh.
And she was apprehensive, but agreed. Things were awkward at first, but they started to chit-chat and got along. Amy was just grateful to have someone come along, and Molly wasn't going to be rude, so they hit it off well. Amy opened up about what's happening with her. The place is incredibly run down. She's in a cell on the top floor, and the window's cracked, so it's freezing at night. And the prison only supplies a fairly thin blanket. It's overcrowded, and they're putting 2 people in cells built for 1. Amy has to share a tiny cell with a woman who doesn't like her and who controls the cell, hogging the TV.
They have a TV in there? Holy shit.
And deciding when they turn the lights out and go to sleep, the food and clothes are awful. And in order to occupy herself, Amy must go to basic literacy and numeracy courses, which she's completely overqualified for. The alternative is that she's sitting in her cell going mad with boredom. Amy was crying her eyes, but tried to hide it because if others see her, they think she's weak. She's not had any problems with anyone, but apparently some of the others make fun of her posh accent.
Oh, what? Does she talk like this?
Yeah,
what the fuck is she saying?
Her parents, friends, or family haven't made any effort to contact her. Molly was an absolute star. She hugged Amy while she cried and reassured her. I wasn't expecting this at all, but was so proud. You guys get it. That's basically the story.
Okay, well, what a warm Christmas story.
I guess all's well that ends well.
Yeah, this sounds like a solid couple.
I mean, I just think it's so weird. I don't know that I would want to see my life going in the direction of hanging out with a financial criminal.
Danny, if I was in prison and I begged you to come visit me.
For a finance crime? Or for
Sure.
a good crime? I'd be way more...
What kind
if
of crime?
you killed someone, I'd be like, I'm there tomorrow.
Oh my God, really?
Give me the dirt. What happened? That would be so much more interesting. But then I wouldn't obviously visit you again because you're a fucking murderer. I just need the juice. I would try to do a podcast with you in prison if you murdered someone.
What if I committed like a boring financial crime and I was like, Danny, the clothes don't fit and the girls are mean to me?
I may go once just because it'd be funny. I'd be like, you piece of shit. You called me an asshole. You're in prison now, dude.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
You would not be the person I would reach out to if I was in prison.
That is a point that people make here, which is like, who is this girl? Right? So what?
It sounds like she is such a shitty person that she didn't have even any friends in the real world.
Watt in the Forest writes, I would highly recommend contacting some of her friends or family. Find out if they cut her off just for being in jail or something else. If it's something else, to be on your guard. Even if she is a manipulator, she's not completely devoid of humanity and still deserves a little sympathy.
Yeah, I agree. He needs to contact people in her life and convince them to visit her.
So weird.
I think it's like the feed a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Like, visit her, she'll have company one day.
Did that phrase sponsor you or something?
Why?
I just felt like you forced it in.
No, it's a good analogy because if you think about it,
sponsored by the Teach a Man to Fish Foundation?
Yes, I am sponsored by the Teach a Man to Fish Foundation. But think about it: if he visits her once, it gives her company once. But if he convinces all the
other
family
people,
and friends, she's got fish for a lifetime.
Today's sponsor,
teachamandatofish.com.org.
I mean, I guess I think this is odd, but I don't find any of this asshole-ish. I just think it's a little weird. If one of my exes was in prison, I would do it for the story. I would do it to produce a pod to tell people about whatever.
Would you bring your current girlfriend with you?
My girlfriend will never walk into a jail. She is like, she would never. My girlfriend won't go into a Holiday Inn Express. Like, this is not happening.
I hope she doesn't commit any financial crimes.
Oh man, she would be exactly like this girl
her
in prison.
Posh accent.
No,
I'm assuming she doesn't have a weird posh accent.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't. So this is a weird one, but I think we both agree no assholes here.
Yeah, no one's an asshole. It's just a weird story.